Bimbo wanted to be special, but she kept trying to be someone else. In the rolling hills of Ekiti State, Nigeria, a place known as the Land of Honor and the Fountain of Knowledge, lived an 11-year-old girl named Bimbo. Ekiti is known for its green hills, calm towns, and smart students. Bimbo was in year 8, and she lived in a quiet neighborhood where the morning air often smelled of pounded yams and fresh rain. She had 2 siblings, Adeola, her elder brother, 14, Adora, her younger sister, 6. In Bimbo's house, 3 voices usually filled the sitting room. Adeola would burst in first. "Daddy, we won again, 2 goals." Adora would follow, waving a paper. "Mummy, see my drawing." Bimbo would come in quietly, hands behind her back, smiling gently. At home, their parents often told them, "You are all special. God made you on purpose. God didn't make any mistake when He made you." Sometimes their dad would even say a Bible verse to them. God says you are a royal diadem, a holy nation, and His precious treasure. Adeola would grin. Adora would clap. Bimbo would smile. But later, when nobody was looking, she would stare at her reflection in the window and wonder, what is special about me? Because when Bimbo looked at her siblings, she felt more like a common pebble than a diamond. She tried to copy them to find her special. When she tried to draw like Adora, her hands felt clumsy. When she tried to play the drums like Adeola, the noise just gave her a headache. "If everyone is special," Bimbo whispered to herself, "why do I feel so ordinary?" That night, Bimbo lay on her bed and stared at the ceiling. A tiny thought tapped her mind like a finger on a table. Maybe I don't have anything. One day in school, their teacher, Mrs. Uche, taught them something interesting. No 2 people are exactly the same. Even twins have differences. Then the teacher said, "Your fingerprints are special. No one has the same fingerprints as you." She held up a giant picture of a fingerprint. "Look closely," she said. "Out of 8 billion people on Earth, no 2 patterns are the same. Your identity is literally written on your skin." Bimbo looked at her fingers. She thought, "So I'm different. But what makes me me? What is special about me?" At home, Bimbo noticed her siblings were so sure of what they liked. Adora loved to draw. The moment her pencil touched paper, she was drawing. Houses, faces, cats, flowers, anything. Whether it looked perfect or not didn't stop her. She just enjoyed it. Adeola, her brother, loved football and music. He could also play instruments so well. He loved playing instruments. He was also a valued player on his local football team. Adeola was the one teachers praised. Brilliant boy. Adora was the one people pinched and laughed over. See this fine small girl. But Bimbo? Bimbo didn't know what she loved to do, and she didn't have people pointing at her or praising her for anything special. So she tried copying. That weekend, Bimbo decided she would find what was special about her fast, like a race. First, she followed Adora. Adora sat on the floor, legs crossed, humming as she drew. She didn't even pause. Her pencil just danced. Bimbo picked up her own pencil and tried. She drew a circle, rubbed it out, drew again, rubbed again. Her paper began to look tired. Adora didn't notice. "Look, it's a cat," she shouted, proud. Bimbo forced a laugh and dropped her pencil. Later, she actually put effort into it and even drew some amazing pictures. But she found she couldn't spend hours on it like her sister. Next, she followed Adeola to the field. Adeola kicked the ball and ran like his legs were powered by a battery. His friends shouted, "Nice one." Bimbo joined. She ran small at first. then slower. Her chest started burning. She bent down, hands on knees. Adiola called, "Try! You can do it!" Bimbo tried again, kicked the ball, missed it, and the ball rolled away like it was embarrassed for her. She sat at the grass, sweating, watching her brother shine. That night, Bimbo lay on her bed and stared at the ceiling. Inside her mind, a small voice whispered, "Maybe you don't have anything. Maybe you're not special after all." On Monday, something big happened in school. Bimbo's class teacher, Mrs. Uche, clapped her hands and announced, "Class, we are doing a project. It is called Getting to Know Me." The class shouted, "Yay!" Every student had to prepare an essay and a stage presentation to show the school their unique flavor. The teacher wrote 3 things on the board. A short essay, "Who am I?" A small display or item, "What do I enjoy?" And a short presentation on stage during a class event with fun games. She smiled. "This is not a competition. It's a discovery." People began to whisper excitedly, "I will bring my football. I will bring my drawings. I will sing." Bimbo's smile froze, and her heart started to beat fast. That evening, she sat in the sitting room with paper in front of her. She stared at it, and stared, then wrote, "My name is Bimbo," and stopped. As Bimbo sat in the living room, staring at the white piece of paper in front of her that stayed stubbornly empty, her mom walked in and noticed the heavy silence. "Bimbo, you look like you're trying to solve a math problem with no numbers," Mom said gently. "What's wrong?" Bimbo's eyes watered a little. "Mummy, we have a project. We must talk about who we are and what we like. But I don't know what to write." Bimbo's voice cracked again. "I don't have anything to present, Mom. Adora has her art. Adiola has his music. I don't have a thing. I'm just Bimbo." For a second, Bimbo's mom felt a pang of guilt, a heavy feeling that she had been so busy cheering for the loud talents that she hadn't intentionally helped Bimbo notice her own gifts, aka her own superpower and uniqueness. "Oh, Bimbo," Mom said, pulling her close for a warm hug. Bimbo's mom sat beside her and held her hand. "Sit with me. Let's explore." Mom smiled. "Do you remember when you were little?" Bimbo sniffed. "Not really." Mom began to tell stories Bimbo had forgotten. "When you were 3 or 4, you wouldn't let me pick your clothes. You would stand in front of the mirror for 20 minutes, matching colors that I never would have thought of. You would say, 'This one doesn't go. This one is better.'" Bimbo blinked. "I did?" "Yes," Mom said. "You didn't just get dressed. You created an outfit." Mom laughed softly. "And remember your dolls? You also liked styling their hair. That's why I bought you that teddy bear with long hair, to practice plaiting. You would spend hours braiding and styling it until it looked like a queen's crown. You didn't just play with them. You became a stylist. You see the beauty in things, and you know how to bring it out." Bimbo looked surprised. A tiny smile appeared. Then Mom asked questions, slowly, like opening a treasure box. Mom asked, "What do you enjoy doing even when nobody is clapping for you? What do you do that makes you where you forget to check the clock? When you help someone, what kind of help do you like giving? What do people often praise you for? What problems do you like solving? If you had 1 free hour every day, what would you choose to do? What makes you feel proud of yourself, not proud of showing off? What do you like learning about for fun?" Bimbo thought hard. Then she said quietly, "I like choosing clothes. I like arranging things. I like making people look neat. I like helping my friends pack their bags properly. I like fixing small things, like when someone's shirt button is wrong. Mom nodded. That is your special flavor, your uniqueness, Bimbo. Some people have eyes for beauty, neatness, and style. Bimbo sat taller. It felt like her inside voice was changing. The next day, their dining table turned into a small workshop. Bimbo cut pictures from old magazines, neat uniforms, simple hairstyles, matching colors. She glued them to a cardboard. She plaited her teddy bear's hair neatly and tied small ribbons. At the top of her project board, she wrote, "Getting to know me. I'm a helper with style." Then she wrote one sentence in big letters. "I notice small details, and I help people look their best." When she finished, she sat back. It wasn't loud like football. It wasn't colorful like drawing, but it felt like hers. She also wrote in her essay, "I used to copy others because I thought I had nothing, but I learned that I am unique and special in my own way. I don't have to be Adora or Adiola. I can be Bimbo, and that's absolutely okay." On presentation day, the classroom looked like a small exhibition. Paintings, balls, musical instruments, crafts. Bimbo stood behind the curtain and rubbed her palms together. Her heart was doing gibim, gibim, gibim. But she took a deep breath. Then her name was called. Bimbo! She stepped onto the stage holding her teddy bear. She faced her classmates. For a second, her voice hid inside her throat. Then she lifted her chin. "Hi," she began. "I'm Bimbo." She held up her board. "My brother likes football. My sister likes drawing. I tried their own, but it didn't fit me." A few people nodded as they understood. Bimbo lifted the teddy bear. "I like neatness. I like style. I like helping people look clean and confident." She pointed at the board. "I can help you match colors, tidy your hair, fix your collar, pack your bag well. One day, I want to help people with fashion and hairstyling." Someone in front whispered, "That's true. She helped me last week." A small laughter moved through the room. Bimbo smiled, this time not the forced one. When she finished, clapping filled the class. But the loudest sound for Bimbo was inside. Not fear, not that tiny mean voice. A new voice, steady and sure. "I am not empty. I am different on purpose. I am created on purpose for a purpose. I am unique and special." Lessons from the story. You don't need to copy others to be valuable. Your interests are clues to your gifts. Your inner voice becomes stronger when you tell yourself the truth. Asking the right questions helps you discover yourself. Confidence grows when you accept your uniqueness. Fun fact about Ekiti State. Ekiti Pride. Ekiti State is home to the Ikagosi Warm Springs, the only place in the world where a cold spring and a warm spring flow side by side without mixing their temperatures. Just like those springs, you can be different while living side by side with others. Did you know that no two people have the same pattern of bumps and ridges on their tongues? Journal prompts. 3 things I enjoy doing are: a time I felt proud of myself was when people often ask me to help with. If I could teach someone one thing, it would be, one thing that makes me unique is, when I copy others, I feel. When I am myself, I feel. Why did Bimbo feel empty even though her parents called her a treasure? A. She didn't believe in God. B. She was comparing her hidden talents to her siblings, obvious ones. C. She wanted to move away from Ekiti. The answer is B. She was comparing her hidden talents to her siblings' obvious ones. What was the turning point for Bimbo's self-awareness? A. winning a football match. B. Her teacher gave her a giant fingerprint. C. Her mom is helping her look at her early chapters and childhood clues. The answer is C. Her mom is helping her look at her early chapters and childhood clues. What does the fountain of knowledge tell us about Bimbo's environment? A. That Ikiti is full of water. B. That she lived in a place that valued learning and wisdom. C. That everyone there was a professor. The answer is B. That she lived in a place that valued learning and wisdom. Why did Bimbo's mom feel sad and worried in the sitting room? A. She was tired from work. B. She realized she hadn't been intentional about highlighting Bimbo's specific gifts. C. She didn't like the school project. The answer is B. She realized she hadn't been intentional about highlighting Bimbo's specific gifts. What is the main message of the art of the royal diadem? A. Everyone should learn to style hair. B. You are most powerful when you stop copying and start being your original self. C. Siblings should always compete to see who is better. The answer is B. You are most powerful when you stop copying and start being your original self. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to be notified of other stories. More importantly, apply the lessons. I'm rooting for you.